Welcome to Siam Technology College's Sustaining Success Series, also known as S3. This sustainability education podcast aims to showcase the diverse roles and best practices in sustainable business, climate change, net zero, ESG, creating value, and other sustainability topics while inspiring learners and leaders through real-world examples. I'm your host, Ryan Frazier, advisor to the president of Siam Technology College and managing partner, CEO of Frazier Global. My co-host is Mr. Art, STC professor and sustainability education program associate. Today, we are pleased to be here and have our guest, 𝗏𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐿, a sustainability consultant. Welcome, Nathalie. Or as you told me, it's okay to call you Pui.
Yes, that's right.
It is great to have you. So, Nathalie, Pui, let's get into it. All right. I want to know a little bit about your background. How did you get here as a sustainability consultant?
All right. So for me, I'll start my sustainability journey back about 10 years ago. At that time, I was recruited to be one of staff of one telecommunication service in Thailand, and then after joined it for about 5 years, and then I started to resign and then started my career as sustainability consultant from that time until now. So it's about like 5 years ago.
Wow. So being in the field of sustainability, for a lot of people, it's still brand new. And Mr. Art will tell you, especially students and young professionals out there aren't as familiar with it. For me, I've been involved with it for a while. Sustainable finance, ESG, sustainability, as well as management consulting. Mm-hmm. I'm interested, though, Pui, in understanding what are you passionate about? Like, why did you choose to move into the sustainability field?
All right. To be honest, first time that I was asked, if I want to join the company with this kind of title, I totally don't know or have no idea at all about what is sustainability, and it's also my first time to hear about this word as well. But I think because of my personal character that I love learning, and I think people also that good for everyone for lifelong learning. So that's why okay, so why not just try new thing and then just jump to it, and after start learning and studying about sustainability, I really feel I would say really get into this kind of concept and the purpose and everything. So that's why and I feel sustainability is kind of an infinite way that okay, for example, if you are working in some kind of career, you probably can call you an expert after a while, 5 years, 10 years. But for sustainability, we know at the moment, there are so many new things every day, right? What we know yesterday is already probably out of date for today. So that's why, and I think this is kind of fun for taking in this part and working on this field.
And as you said, there's so many different ways you can go with sustainability. I mean, there's environmental sustainability, there's social sustainability, there's economic sustainability, there's governance. There's a lot of different areas. We call it ESG in terms of how you measure your performance in sustainability. But no industry, every industry, how about that, is impacted or can be impacted by sustainability practices, which is the beauty of sustainability. Right. Everybody can be better, I think, as I like to say. Okay, so let's get into maybe some of the work that you've done over the past several years, Pui. Talk to us a little bit about some of the effective approaches you've seen to driving sustainability in organizations that currently maybe don't have structure or the framework to do so.
All right. When you said about structure or framework, do you mean the corporate that doesn't really have I would say a dedicated department for responsible for
Correct.
This or all
There's
right.
so many companies out there who want to get into sustainability, or businesses who want to get, but they don't have a sustainability person, or they don't have a framework or structure. So talk to us about what approaches you've seen to helping get businesses started on their sustainability journey.
All right. First of all, for this, from my experience that I see as you have to make it easy first, because when we talk about sustainability, most of the people would think that oh, it's then kind of like additional work that I have to do, but actually you have to educate them or communicate with like your employee first that sustainability is not a new thing. It's already the thing that you do in your everyday work, but it's just only because you don't know that it's called sustainability. That's it. And then so first of all, just try to integrate it into your everyday work by communicating or training or educating your people. And the other thing is leadership is also very important as well, because if you can have like either your CEO or your executive or board that really see this as a significant work and try to be kind of like an inspired model for your employees, that is also another way to make it work for the company as well.
I really like that, what you said about making it easy, right? And because so many times when people hear sustainability or ESG, they think, oh my gosh,
That's right.
another thing I have to do. But to your point, sustainability, people have been doing it for a long time. They just never called it sustainability or
That's
ESG.
right.
Let me give you a good example. Mr. Art here, you've been working in education. A lot of times people print off a lot of paper, and then we start to ask ourselves, why are we printing off so much paper? Can we maybe do it digitally? Believe
That's
it or
right.
not, that's a form of sustainability.
Correct.
You do that now.
That's right.
You're conserving energy by printing off less. You're not using as much paper, right? So it's more efficient, and it's better for the environment. That's an example. Very easy. But a lot of times we don't think about it like that. We think about, oh my gosh, it's more complicated things we have to do, and it doesn't have to be. So your point about making it easy, I think is so important to getting more people and companies to understand that they can do this work.
That's right.
To be better. Okay, so let's keep going. When an organization starts to implement sustainability strategies, what do you think are the most important long-term impacts the organization will experience?
Okay, for when talking about the long-term impacts, we probably divide into impact to which group of stakeholders.
Sure.
Like for example, okay, let's talk about like investor, because like most of the company will think about like, okay, one of them a very important stakeholder is the investor. So when you start doing about the sustainability, definitely you can generate a long-term value, either like dividend or profit to your investor or your shareholders. And for your employees, you also can help them to groom them, like develop their competency, their capability, and also you can maintain or have like more engagement of your employee as well. So what you get in back is like your turnover rate is like very low, because like they would love to stay with you. Or you also can have like develop innovation or higher quality product to your customer, and then so that you can engage, and then you can build trust for your customer and build your journey for your customer. You can have like brand loyalty and those kind of things, as well as operational excellence as well, because you like Ryan, that you just give us an example that okay, for Ajahn Art, like if you think about like print less paper, or like let's go for digitally, when you print less paper, you buy less paper, right? So that's why like cost reduction is also another long-term value that the company can have as well.
Absolutely. Start. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, you talk a lot about the definition of the abstractness of sustainability, and probably our students may have questions relating to what should they start on focusing on, when they hear the term sustainability, because you said that there are various dimensions of sustainability. There's probably subset of sustainability in what you said in economics. What do you suggest our students to focus on, in these different areas?
All right. So this actually have so many aspects, right, when we talk about sustainability. But first of all, that I would everyone to understand is, from my point of view, please see sustainability as a goal, or as a probably like your destination, because like let's say if like everyone, not just only for the corporate, but like either like me or คุณไรอัน or อาจารย์ we also have like can have our own sustainability pathway as well. Yeah, right. So think about this first, that sustainability is actually a goal, but when you want to go and achieve like sustainability, for example, corporate sustainability, then what you have to do is probably another kind of like an ESG approach, that what we call ESG, like dimension of like economic, social, and governance. That's why I said that when we talking about sustainability, it's what everyone like do it every day. But we just don't know about it. And let's think about like to be responsible. Being a corporate sustainability, first of all, you probably think about like how you can act responsibly. Because like I remember when I started my career, and then because like back 10 years ago, there are not really more about like knowledge that available in Thai language. So most of the time I have to start on the international source and reading on sustainability report or everything. But one thing that I saw from other international corporate, they didn't really call the report when they want to communicate what they do is sustainability report, but they call it like corporate responsibility.
Sure.
So responsibility is also another way to make your corporate more sustainable. But when we talk about responsibility, it also have a way of like E, S, and G, how to act environment, social, and governance in terms of responsibility.
Just from your perspective, you say that 10 years ago, you have to do everything in English. And in your perspective, how do you think the Thai company or corporates adopt the idea of sustainability compared to the international corporates from your points of view?
Okay, for me, from my point of view, I would say Thai corporate has a really stronger view from adaptation. That really, I can see it like very, very strong. And I think this is also a good way, and probably because I ever talked with one of the S&P assessor and asked about this. I think I'm not sure if this is good to say or not, but we also have to mention that probably the image of Thailand when comparing to international, they might not like as good as them. So another way to earn credential or credibility on that is also how to tell them that we apply all the international in terms of sustainability framework and practices. And so that's why like our Thai corporate like work on this quite very hard.
Okay. Yep. All right. So let's keep the conversation going here. Now, 𝗏 one of the things we all know is that for any organization, any business that's adopting sustainability practices, measuring their performance using ESG, it's very important to have the leadership involved, executives. So in your view, what role do the leadership, the executives, play in turning the vision of sustainability into reality within any business or organization?
Okay. First of all, I would say leadership is very, very important in driving sustainability in the corporate. I would share two samples that one is like I experienced this myself, and the other is an experience from my friends. Okay, let's talk about like experience from my friend first. She is working in the CEO office of one of the, I would say like biggest company in Thailand, and at that time no one in the corporate understand about sustainability, like no one at all. But they have a CEO that very, very passionate about sustainability. So what CEO act is like every day he will go to every department, like one department at a day, and then let's like talk about everyone about sustainability. He go on public and then he talks about sustainability, and like my friend said like, you trust me, no one will understand about like sustainability. No one know what is sustainability is. But what they know only, all right, their CEO is passionate about sustainability, so let's do it, whatever it is.
we're going to do it.
Yep. So that's why I say like leadership is very important because like when you have like the leader who really passionate and want to do sustainability, right? They will drive, they will help you, they will support you, they will endorse you in every action or every implementation that you do. Like this is another example.
You know, it's a great example too, 𝗶𝘁, because let's take here at Siam Technology College, you know, the whole reason that we've stood up a sustainability and ESG program here at the university is because President 𝗏𝘁H 𝗿𝐿, the leader of this organization, said, I believe this is important and I want to provide more educational offerings to our students and professionals who work for companies around sustainability practices, how you use ESG to drive both reporting, but also strategy and performance. So you could not be more correct. Leadership is so crucial to setting the direction that the organization can get behind to move forward. So Art, I know you had some thoughts on just future trends, so I'll let you get to that.
Yeah, just moving forward with the new standards. Do you think organization, what are some of the things that organization should keep an eye on in order to maybe stay aligned with the new regulatory changes?
Oh, okay. When we talk about the future trend of sustainability, every time when I has a chance to conduct kind of like a knowledge sharing with a corporate, I always tell them like start with why, like why the ESG or corporate or sustainability is important and why do they have to do. In the past, we say sustainability or ESG is voluntary, but right now, another trend that Ajahn has just mentioned is become regulatory and compulsory. So you also have to really make sure that your company can keep up to any new regulations or probably also new requirements of your customer or even the new trend of the customer as well. And one trend that I saw is coming right now is also on your human rights, but it would be kind of the human rights that on not really just how will I say, it will be more an action on human rights due diligence. Yeah, the company should like know about like the impact from business operation to the human rights and any risk that like they have to concern, mitigate or something like that. Another trend is also about they will have some more on those biodiversity that as well. We see that we will have like another how can I say, more standards of disclosure on biodiversity. So biodiversity is also another trend, and there are also probably more regulations and things about ESG that like coming up, like more stronger of the ESG regulations that like we also have to keep an eye on. Like for example, carbon tax that probably in some of the industry that might have to concern about this like soon.
Yeah,
something
more
like that.
high carbon producing or pollution emitting industries may have to worry more about the carbon taxes and associated with that. And I think to your point, the regulatory environment is in many ways catching up to the expectations of investors and customers
Yes.
as it relates to companies' environmental impact, how they treat people. You mentioned human rights in terms of how their operations affects communities in which they operate.
Yeah, that's right.
And so the regulatory environment, both local and national, in countries like Thailand and in the United States even, are catching up with those expectations.
That's right.
And there's also an international, as you know, kind of policies around a lot of these areas as well. So,
Yeah, and I think another thing is ESG disclosure.
Yes.
As we can see that like a lot of like standard is coming up, and the regulatory that require the company to disclose more about their ESG and sustainability performance.
And since you touched on the standards, let's talk about that, 𝗶𝘁. What standards are you seeing that organizations are commonly using today to measure or report their progress? Because, I always say this, sustainability, to your point, is the journey. ESG is how we measure progress.
That's right.
So talk a little bit about what standards you're seeing organizations, businesses here in Thailand, Southeast Asia are using to measure and report their performance around sustainability.
Okay. If talk about Thailand and the standards that they use may not really a reporting standards. Okay. Let's put it this way. For reporting standard, we heard about GRI, SASB, and things like that, right? That is also part of the framework that they use for reporting. But for the company in Thailand, most of the standard that they use is probably our sustainability assessment. Yep. Like assessment from S&P Global or assessment from Stock Exchange of Thailand that they also have corporate sustainability assessment for themselves. Yeah. So most of the company in Thailand, they use this kind of assessment as a framework for them or as a standard for them to disclose their ESG performance.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just for folks who may be watching, when 𝗶𝘁 talks about GRI, that's the Global Reporting Initiative. SASB is the Sustainability Accounting Standards Board, which is now part of the IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards Foundation. So a lot of acronyms, but these are the organizations that are setting the reporting standards, disclosure standards in the sustainability field for organizations. All right, so now I want to turn the conversation, 𝗶𝘁, Mr. Art, to our students. You know, whether it be undergraduate students or graduate students, young professionals, those who are maybe out there working now in their career. Maybe they've been in the field for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 1 year, you know, but they're interested in sustainability. You know, they want to be better stewards of the environment. They care about how we treat people. They want to see good leadership and governance in their organizations. What advice would you have for the young professional or the student around pursuing a career in sustainability or improving their knowledge and expertise in sustainability?
All right. My suggestion is, first of all, because for working in the sustainability field, it actually has also quite different types of work as well. To me myself, I can think about 3 types of work. First is be a strategist, right? Second is an advisor or assessor or reporter, and the third one is as an implementator. So first of all, anyone who interested in being pursue the career in sustainability, you probably have to ask yourself first in what type of work that you're interested in for sustainability. Like if you want to be like a strategist, like I said, or an assessor or reporter, or if you want to be an implementator, because each type of work requires different mindset and also different type of knowledge or structure of your thought, something like that, right? For example, if you want to be the strategist, you probably need to be people that are a little bit more creativity, because when we are talking about strategy, you need creativity, right? Or if you probably love to have some direction and then you work on implementation, something like this. Or if you want to be an assessor or reporter, like because right now we also can't deny that like most of the corporate also want to pursue some kind of like sustainability index or something like that. So being an assessor is also require another type of competency as well. So that's why you need to understand first that that you want to do. And then another thing is that you also need to have an open mindset, because sustainability is to me it's like you are like an haute couture of the fashion, that there is no one size fit all. So it doesn't mean that this pattern or this approach of sustainability that works for one company, it will be working for another company. Or even when you do some kind of thing that have like a step as a process. It doesn't mean that like when you go for a company A with like 1, 2, 3, 4 step, then when you go for the company B, you probably need like you need to go for like 10 first and then back to 1. So there's no one size fits all. That's why you need an open mindset, right, on that. And also you also need to be a person who loves a lifelong learning as well, because like I said that sustainability is like we always have like a new things that like come out every day. If you think that you already know about it and then you stop learning, so you probably like fall behind. At the same time, if you are a person who needs some kind of like achievement or some certain achievement in your career or your life, sustainability in like journey probably may not suit you, because I know someone that like they've been in sustainability for like 4 or 5 years and then finally they quit. And then they start like a totally new way of their occupation, and then they say like they can't see themselves like when like this journey will be stopped, when they can like know about like all about sustainability, something like that. So that's why I say like this is like you probably need to do. And you also need to have like both systematic thinking and analytical thinking as well, because like you need to consume so many information, and then you need really like analytical thinking that like okay, how you can analyze all the information into probably like plans or strategies or any kind of work that you want to do. You also need to have like to be a very a person that good in communication as well, because like you said since the beginning of our episode, when we talk about sustainability, people will think like, what the hell this is?
Right.
And if you still can't make this difficult in the mindset of people to make it like more easier, and then people like,
They just resist it. Absolutely.
what are you talking about this? And then
Yeah, something is popping up all the time, especially for my TESOL students, because we focus on teacher education. What do you think sustainability can be integrated, or is it how could it be relatable to especially my students who are becoming future teachers? You know, what should they learn in these?
And I think Ms. R and 𝗶𝘁, feel free to jump in here, but I would just say, generally speaking, again, keeping it easy, just creating more awareness around sustainability, I think is one very easy way for TESOL instructors, people who are part of the TESOL program, to just talk more about sustainability, what it means, you know. Again, there's many aspects of it, whether it be improving, you know, your energy consumption, you know, maybe turning lights off, you know, so you're not using as much energy. Maybe using less paper, as we discussed earlier, and using more digital capabilities. You know, there are lots of different ways to just generally talk about sustainability that I think TESOL instructors can incorporate into the teaching approach. So that's my initial thought. Again, not wanting to complicate it much further, is I think creating more awareness so that people are learning and they are asking more questions. So what does this mean for me? So that's my thought. So anything you would add?
No, I totally agree with you. Like make it more, make it as much easier as like you can, and like let's create awareness and then make them feel like, oh, it's just like every day.
Yeah, seems very simple, but we don't just aware of it.
That's right. That's right. Correct.
Okay, last question before we wrap up this episode, 𝗶𝘁. All right, now we've had a good conversation about sustainability and your thoughts, best practices, advice, but I want to know, you know, you've been doing this for 10 years now, a decade. It's a long time. If you were
feel like very old right now.
I've been doing it as long, if not longer, so don't worry. I used to have hair, so that tells you how long I've been doing it. So you think about this for a second. If you were giving yourself advice today to yourself 10 years ago, what single piece of advice would you give yourself?
All right. To be honest, like back like 10 years ago, I don't really have like any advice for myself. But if you ask me like take it back about like 20 years ago when I need to start pursue my master's degree, I would tell myself at that time that go and study about sustainability.
Wow.
Really, this is what I told myself.
I love that. You know, in fact, I think that's a great way to end this segment. For anyone who's watching or listening to this podcast, you know, start now. There's no need to wait. Start to learn about sustainability and ESG and how it can make a difference for you, for your organization, for business. Start now, don't wait. And so that's a part of, I think, a great message, 𝗶𝘁, for us to end with. So with that, thank you again for joining us for another episode of S3, the Sustaining Success series, where we seek to help educate learners and leaders about sustainability practices, and hopefully help shape the future in the minds of those who are coming up through school and are young professionals today. For myself, Ryan Frazier, the host, as well as my colleague, Mr. Art, we want to thank 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐢𝐧𝐢 for joining us, sustainability consultant. Thank you so much.
And also thank you.
And
Thank
go
you
ahead.
as well for having me here. It's a very pleasure.
It is such a pleasure to have you, such a delight to have you, and we wish you all the best in the future as you continue to help make companies and organizations better.
Thanks.
Thank you for joining us.